Learn English with JOJO. Hello and welcome to Learn English with JOJO. This is the second video in my series about English idioms. And this idiom is going to be out of the blue. I'm first going to give you a definition, then a couple examples, and I'm going to talk about how often it's used in English and American usage versus British usage, and some interesting stuff like that. So let's get started. Out of the blue basically means saying or doing something out of context or without precedent or something random. So my first example is, he started talking to me about George W. Bush's painting career out of the blue. So that means we were talking about something else, or we weren't even talking, and then he just brought up George Bush's painting career out of the blue, out of nowhere. It's the same expression. And George W. Bush is a pretty good painter. That's why I picked this one. So basically what out of the blue, where it comes from is, we're going to imagine a blue sky, and then suddenly it starts raining or thundering or there's lightning. So we're expecting a beautiful day because we see the sky is blue, and then out of the blue comes a storm, comes a hurricane, comes a tornado, I don't know, any sort of weather event. So the second example is, she started frantically waving her arms out of the blue. So she was doing nothing before, or we were talking, or we were sitting on the couch, and then she started waving her arms frantically, out of nowhere, out of the blue. So those are our two examples. Now I'm going to talk about how often it is used in English and the differences between the usage in American English and British English. And to do that, I'm using Google's ngram search. And what it does is it searches a lot of books, I'm not exactly sure how many, and it finds how often a word or a phrase is used in those books. So it's not going to be perfect. We're going to have to make the assumption that what is written in books is what is said out loud in spoken English, but I think it's a pretty, it's an okay assumption. Let's go with that. So let's look at the chart for out of the blue in American English. So you can see it's pretty constant, and it's going up exponentially, and at 1970 it really starts going up, and it's used fairly often right now, today. So let's look at the British usage. So you can see it goes up, and then actually takes a dip at 1970, and then goes up to about the same level as it is in American English. I think it's 0.00001 less. So it's a little bit less used in British English than American English. And for my videos, I'm going to try to bring you idioms that are used more frequently in American English than British English. That's the goal. And then let's compare it to the last idiom that I covered. Let's compare it to off the cuff. As you can see, out of the blue is used almost 10 times as much as off the cuff, which is somewhat interesting. So I'm going to try to find you idioms that are pretty common, and I'm going to be using Google Ngram to do that, and my knowledge as a native speaker. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was interesting. Please let me know if you like the format, if you think there are things I should change, add, subtract from the videos. I'm going to always try to improve them, and I hope you're having a great day. See you next week for a video in French, and then a video in English. And I don't know if that will be an idiom video. Maybe I'll do idiom videos once a month. That sounds like a good amount. So if you have any suggestions for idioms that you're confused about, that you would like explanation, please let me know in the comments. Okay,